Hello, KZOOMers.
Hello.
We missed you.
A lot.
Even though I saw some of you in person at the Shabbaton and at Smicha Week. So that was a real thrill. But it's great to be back in the KZOOM room together. I always feel a little bad to, to miss the energy that we build together, and also the sense of mutual support and encouragement for our practice. And I was teaching all about energy work, and I didn't when I started zooming, I didn't know that I could feel that energy through the KZOOM room, but it's true.
Yep.
So I want to just acknowledge that that we've sort of developed these other capacities to perceive and connect and support each other in our practice. So the practice is of really to live the path of love, to not just talk about it, not just think about it, but actually to live it, and to be able to see sometimes how we're not living it, and sort of like set our compass points. And in our practice, it's possible to touch into certain states of connection that then become, that we then plant inside us as a remembrance of what's possible, so that we can keep coming back to it. And the text this week from Parshat Chukat of Shir Hashirim, is that the lovers are speaking to one another, and the words that the lovers say to each other are really the words that we say to reality, and reality says to us. It's our love song, and it's our exploration of beauty and of connection. And so the lover just he says your teeth like a
flock of ewes that come up white from washing, all of them alike, all shining and present.
And then he says,
the curve of your cheek like a pomegranate, hidden behind the thicket of your hair.
So these words about the pomegranate really, captured me, because I think what they're pointing to is that there is a secret there in the pomegranate. When you see a pomegranate, it's like you have no idea of the treasures that it is hiding inside it. And the pomegranate really sort of became, in Kabbalah, a sort of a symbol of the multi layers of secret and of of hidden treasure that is in all of us. And it's that treasure exists in us even when we're not even aware of it, when we don't. And sometimes we can see it in each other and call it forth. So when what the pomegranate manifests for me are these layers. There's the outer layer, there's the inner layer, and then there's the inner layer. And even in that inner layer, there's layers inside there. So I wanted to focus on what I called layered spirituality. And the way that I came to layered spirituality is through the pathway of being of inheriting a legacy of manic depression. The manic depression, bipolar, in my family, kind of taught me that there are great highs and there are deep lows. And at a certain point, I felt like I was sort of set on a path of these great highs and these deep lows. And at a certain point, I said, this is exhausting. I don't think I can do this. This is like this kind of the roller coaster of life is not what I wanted to ride. And so I started to develop a different model, which I called layered spirituality, which is may be the same as what in our tradition is called devekut, meaning that there is this layer of our awareness that is constant, that is always immersed in the God field. And then there are these other layers of the life that we live, and the ups and the downs. But the ups and the downs do not overwhelm us because of this layer of the awareness of the God field within us. And so the idea of spiritual practice is to establish that awareness, and so that we can keep on anchoring into it, and it then becomes the context for our lives, and it becomes what holds us through the ups and downs of life. And it's that layer that I establish in my spiritual practice, and that I want to really identify with during my practice, so that it's going to be there when I am kind of pushed and pulled and kind of blown by the winds of the world, that anchor will always be there for me, and it changes everything when it is. So that's the secret of the pomegranate. Those beautiful, delicious treasures that are inside us, that we want to be able to find the pathways there, and kind of know, keep one piece of our awareness in that sweetness, even as we experience everything it means to be human. That's the plan. And so these words, I think, hold that secret. Let's see if you can first, before we even begin chanting, just sort of close your eyes, tune into this inner deep place. Imagine the seeds of the pomegranates, these that are bursting with this beautiful sweetness, this treasure within us. And yet it's hidden. We will reveal it.
harimon rakataych מבעד לצמאתי כפלך 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 harimon rakataych מבעד לצמתך, כפלת הרימון rakataych, 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 מבעד
So we return to the image of the pomegranate with its secret treasures hidden within. And when the spies went into the promised land, they brought back the pomegranates to show us what was hidden there. And when the high priest went into the Holy of Holies, on the hem of his garments were embroidered pomegranates and bells to wake us up to the hiddenness within, to that hidden treasure. And when the bells rang, it sort of brought your attention to those pomegranates and the possibility that within each of us there are also those hidden little treasures of sweetness. And when we open our eyes, we can see in each other that there's also something hidden behind the thickets. Here, like this. Hidden behind those thickets are those the eyes that can see through the manifestation into the unmanifest. You can see through the form to the essence within. So we can take a look around your KZOOM room and see if we can, sort of see what's behind that disguise. See the secret that is hidden within. And so the idea is to be able to see through the veil, or like take away some of the veil, and some of the veil is kind of the illusion, some of the illusions of our separateness. In my life, I always felt like there was moments when I could see that the whole world felt transparent to me, and I could see through the world into the light that's shining out from it, the God light. And then sometimes, especially if I got depressed, I would sort of feel like, oh, this opacity kind of falls, and everything that the physical universe feels like it is this opaque kind of material, illusion, and and then again it's revealed again. So this kind of game of like hiding and revealing again. I wanted to do a practice that says, unveil my eyes. This is my prayer, is that my eyes can be unveiled to be able to see through this world to the essence that it hides. And so it says gal aynai, let my eyes, unveil my eyes, gal aynai va'abita, so that finally I can see what's been hidden there all along. Nifla'ot, which is this miracle, mitoratecha, and from your Torah, and from your Torah, this whole world comes to us as Torah, that as kind of the face or the mask of God that comes to us, and our job is to unmask that face and to see through it, and at the same time play the game to our best, with our very best. So when I chant these words, unveil my eyes, it really does come from some place of distress in me that knows that when my eyes are veiled, it's really hard. It's really hard to be constrained by a sense, like just material existence. It makes no sense. And the moment my eyes are unveiled, there is this light that is shining through it, which I am so nurtured by. So I'm going to sort of draw on the experience of that heartbreaking opacity to find my prayer that says, oh please, help me to unveil these eyes so that I can really see and receive the light that's shining through this world. Ready? And if anybody wants to do the dance, there is a dance of like, whoa, aynai, nifla'ot, nifla'ot mitoratecha. Aynai, 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 oh keep your eyes closed and bring your attention to the place on your forehead, between your eyes, the place of your third eye. Just bring your attention to there like it's one very focused point there, the third eye. And imagine breathing into that point and charging it up with your attention, your focus, and with the breath, finding that point of light. And imagine now that there above your head, about a foot above your head, there is a ball of light. And take all of that concentration of your third eye and let it pour light into that ball of light so that that ball of light begins to expand and get brighter. And imagine now that that ball of light has an opening at the bottom of it, and the light from that ball of light that's expanding light above your head is shining down, pouring down through your crown, filling your whole body with light. And as it pours through you, just let any places of blockages be dissolved in that light, shining through you and coming all the way down from your head to your toe. That shining light, just filling you and also clearing you of any obstructions so that you become this clear channel for that transparency, for that essence. And as you fill with light, you can imagine taking that light and putting it into the earth. And once it touches the earth, it just spreads out like roots that are roots of light, connecting you with all of the other light beings, and also connecting you with the source of nourishment and resilience and nourishment. So as those roots of light spread out into the earth, you might want to just call on those roots to also to bring back to you all of the places of connection to all of the other light beings. And call that back up into you. And let's return for a moment to that place, that of the third eye, the place on your forehead, between your eyes. And again, bring all of your concentration there so that that eye is unveiled and sees the truth of our connection. And when you're ready, you could open your other eyes.
All your eyes.
All your eyes.
Yeah. Very nice.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Without the Scottish accent.
Right.
So, this spiritual work that we do is about opening up our vision, and also about clearing the channels, really, and you know, when there's a blockage to the flow, it points me towards what needs healing inside me, and then I can know to do, you know, that the work needs to happen. And so I wanted to do a practice, a kind of a healing practice for us, that might help us to access that place of thicket, and also to access kind of the inner dimensions of our being, those sweet treasures of pomegranate juice that are hidden inside there, and the sacred phrase, you know, comes from the Song of Songs, and it says, "There's this place within that the work that we do on the inside is take all of those places of brokenness, of woundedness, of trauma, and pour love into those places." And I always say, if I don't pour love into those places of brokenness, then the shame accumulates there. It's like a little trap there, a place that is hidden, and when it's you know, hiddenness can sometimes breed shame. You know, if there's something I want to hide from you, I'm hiding it from myself, and I'm hiding it from God. But I want to be able to see myself through God's eyes, as being completely vulnerable to that God light, and to that sense of being whole. So these words, Tocho, is something that the daughters of Jerusalem, we do with our companions. We find those hidden places inside us, and we pour our love into them, so that we can become whole through our practice. And in our wholeness, then it seems like then we can meet the world without defensiveness, really. You know, and I think that's what I'm always trying to do. I'm trying to lower my defenses. You know, I'm trying to meet this world with an open heart. So I guess before we do this practice, if you want to just take a look inside your own hearts, and to be able to locate the places, you know, sometimes for me it's like doubt or confusion, or some ways that I'm carrying something from the past that keeps me from absolutely being totally present in this very moment and receiving. So take a moment to just find those places inside your heart, and we will fill those places with love. And we always, you know, like to bring to mind the kintsugi practice of when a precious pot breaks. You know, the potter puts that pot back together with this gold inlay, and makes it even more beautiful. And what was it? Oh yeah. So yeah, Judy sent me this thing about Oreo kintsugi. there's this thing now. Like if your your Oreo cookie breaks, you can get this white
tube of icing
to
fill it,
to inlay it with icing. Google it, Oreo kintsugi, right?
I thought I had seen and heard everything, but that proved me wrong. Okay.
And if we can do it with an Oreo, we can do it with our own hearts. Really. So let's take a moment, just put your hand on your heart, and see if you can just locate the place where this inlay needs to happen. Not to hide that brokenness, but to lift it up into beauty, into the beauty of being human. Tocho, ratzuf ahavah, 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 ratzuf ahavah,
ratzuf ahavah, tּוֹכוֹ, ratzuf ahavah.
So I invite you to bring your hand to your heart and find there in your heart whatever it is that needs healing. And it might even be the ancestors that are in you that need healing. And that we come to bring love to those broken places that we have inherited. And what it takes is a kind of equal parts grace and effort to keep our attention with such compassion for those broken places, and with a letting go of judgment, just a pouring that love in, and also channeling the God love into those places that will make us more whole even through our challenges. So this work of the heart, of healing the heart, brings us to the work of healing the heart of the world. When we're doing this for ourselves, we are also dedicating that healing to the world's heart that needs healing. So I wanted to bring a practice that comes from the first book of Kings, and it is a story of the heart that is given wisdom. And the way that our heart receives that wisdom is through its integrity, through its wholeness, and through a kind of letting go of this other kind of informational thing that we sometimes mistake for wisdom. And it feels like the wisdom of the heart is hard-earned wisdom. You know, it comes out of our experience. It comes from having been hurt and healed, and finding then this integrity of the heart that is actually calling in the flow of the divine through us. And, I think it's sometimes, the world seems to reward cleverness or a kind of a superficiality. And so we have to kind of sometimes turn away from that being clever, and kind of sink into our heart wisdom and allow our hearts to shine, really. And so this says, God says to us, behold, Hinay, natati, lach. Behold, I am giving to you in this very moment. I am giving to you this wise heart, and the wisdom of the heart is also what's the description of what an artist is. And so I want to think about us as being artists of the holy, and that with every moment where we are creating holiness with the wisdom of our hearts, and v'navon, which is the understanding. So that there's Chokhmah and Bina are the sort of two sides on the tree of life, and this has both. So maybe Chokhmah is kind of a little bit of an abstraction, like the not quite in form yet, and the Bina is the application of that wisdom in the world. So it's our actually living it, and not just thinking about it, and not just holding it inside us, but actually, manifesting it through our lives, through our relationships. That's the navon part of it. So, and
Bina agrees.
Bina agrees. So I love chanting this.
Me too.
And I want to say that every time we come back to that word Hinay, I want to ask you to come into more presence, to receive that wise and understanding heart. Because it's really, with the spiritual work, a lot of it is just about showing up, really. That's Hinay. The Hinay is showing up. And then we can receive it, and showing up with a kind of a vulnerability and a kind of like a receptivity that I'm not going to fill myself up with my cleverness. Instead I'm going to open up and actually be in the not knowing place, so that I can receive that in each moment. I can receive that heart. So every time we come back to Hinay, see if you can just return to that commitment to presence.
Hinay natati lach chacham 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 natati lach lev chacham v'navo. Hinay 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 natati lach lev chacham
So return to the heart. Imagine breathing into the heart and finding that wholeness in the heart, that integrity, that place of showing up with our hearts undefended. And through that undefended heart, receiving wisdom and the understanding that life brings. And then we want to open our eyes and look out through that understanding, that heart wisdom, to bring a little of compassion to each other. So it is